Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I also want to bring to you a story of systematic subversion of crackdown on corruption in Karnataka. Politicians seem to be diluting the fight against corrupt mantris and politicians for the last 6 years. And it's not me who's saying that. The Karnataka High Court has abolished the Anti-Corruption Bureau that was set up 6 years ago by the then Congress government under Siddaramaiah. The High Court, in some scathing observations, said that the Anti-Corruption Bureau directly diluted the functioning of the Lokayukta, which in turn shielded corrupt politicians and officers. The court has said that the Anti-Corruption Bureau is unsustainable and malified. Listen in to how the former Chief Minister shirked the blame today when he was questioned.
I respect the decision of the High Court. It is for the government to take a decision. Our government is not there. Anti-Corruption Bureau is existing in so many states, not only in Karnataka. In Gujarat also, there is an Anti-Corruption Bureau. The circumstances were different when it was constituted. Now, the High Court has taken a decision that abolishing the government order. I welcome it.
Interestingly, the BJP government too did nothing to change this. That despite promising to abolish the ACB in its poll manifesto in 2017. What's even more shocking is that the Bomai government defended the existence of the Anti-Corruption Bureau before the courts. They said the ACB doesn't disturb Lokayukta's powers and wanted the court to dismiss the petition to abolish the body. Their hypocrisy staring them in the face. This is how the Karnataka Chief Minister responded.
High Court ನಲ್ಲಿ ACB ಒಂದು ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಆಗಿದೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆ ಆ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಂಡು ಇವತ್ತು ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ಸೂಚನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಆ ಮೂಲ ಪ್ರತಿ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಕ್ಯಾಬಿನೆಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಏನು ಬಿಜೆಪಿಯ ಪ್ರಣಾಳಿಕೆ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಆಧರಿಸಿನೇ ಮುಂದಿನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
And joining me on the debate, Mr. Mohan Krishna, spokesperson of Karnataka BJP, and Tehseen and Ishkarn continue to be with us. Tehseen Poonawala, my first question to you. It's very convenient because that diary that Times Now had exposed 6 years ago, the diary that had the steel bridge and numbers noted on a spiral notebook which talked about crores and crores being handed to AICC, to RG and all sorts of entries. That is when the Lokayukta requirement was so big, and that is the time when there was a need for actually action against corruption. And what did the Congress do? The Lokayukta was made toothless, and an ACB under the control of the Chief Minister was set up so that whatever objections the Lokayukta has, the destruction of evidence would happen by the ACB, and everybody would live happily ever after with the proceeds of crime and a lot of earnings in their banks.
So when the Lokayukta had the powers and it indicted the Reddy brothers, they're back in the BJP right now. And are you saying that Mr. Modi's Karnataka BJP is so toothless that
I will ask the questions of the BJP to the BJP. Why don't you answer for the Congress party?
I am answering it.
For the Congress party which set up the ACB, as far as the BJP is concerned, I'll ask them to answer. And they are not coming out smelling of roses either.
I'm not. I'm starting my thing with a hypothesis that the Lokayukta actually indicted Reddy brothers who are back in the BJP. Point number 2. the present BJP government promised that they would abolish this ACB. They defended it in court. And you remember Mr. Modi as Chief Minister of Gujarat, you covered him, went to the Supreme Court to abolish the Lokayukta. He went to the Supreme Court where he lost. He then went to a review petition to the Supreme Court. And what power does Mr. Modi give the Lokpal? Therefore, I say the BJP is the Bada Jhoota Party. They defended this Lokayukta in the courts, and now they will come on national television and they say, oh, but we were against the ACB. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. Tell us when you will abolish this and bring it under the Lokayukta.
Mr. Mohan Krishna, the Congress party says they are not to blame, you are to blame. And actually the BJP was defending the ACB and asking the courts to dismiss the petition.
Navika, I am amused by the answer given by Tehseen Poonawala. This is the brainchild of Congress and Siddaramaiah in 2014. Lokayukta was brought in by Ramakrishna Hegde in 1984. Today, Siddaramaiah, he was a socialist and today he is a congressman. Look at the hypocrisy of the Congress people today. They are blaming BJP. They are blaming BJP for what? Did we have any strength in that at the time of when you passed the bill for Lokayukta? I mean, lowering the power of the Lokayukta. Oh, don't show your hands, Tehseen. Wait. I'm coming to the point. I'm coming to the point. I'm coming to the point. No. Don't disturb me.
Mr. Modi went against it to Supreme Court.
In 2018, your manifesto, Mr. Mohan Krishna, said you would bring back the Lokayukta. And then you stood in court to say, no, the ACB should stay and the PIL should be thrown out of the court. Would you want to explain that?
Navika, for your information, we have not stood in the court and said this affidavit was put in 2018 when Congress and JDS government was there. That affidavit only it was there. It is not BJP affidavit. You can go and check that.
Sir, could you not
I'm telling you honestly. Let Tehseen understand
You've reversed several policies of the Congress government. Why couldn't you reverse this affidavit? Why couldn't you withdraw it? You didn't want to?
Let me answer to you, Navika. Let me answer to you. Please give me a minute. See, the affidavit was put in there. The court dates were not given clearly for us. That is the one thing. Second thing is, as and when the court has given the order, we are welcoming it. And our Chief Minister has said, Mr. Bommai has said, that we are going to implement as per the manifesto promises what we have made. And there is no doubt about it. An iota of doubt is not there with us, and we are going to implement that.
Ishkarn Bhandari, is it really the public that has been conned by both the political parties as far as fight against corruption is concerned?
Now, because the High Court order is very scathing. It recognizes how, as you showed, Times Now is doing investigations, breaking the news stories, and how a special body is created to dilute the powers of a Lokayukta so that an independent retired judge does not do independent justice. You break in bringing the mechanism of ACB and the usual Congress fashion, then an affidavit as the BJP member or maybe an advocate who was in the court explains how the affidavit supporting the law is also fine there. And I hope if BJP is going to implement the manifesto promise, then they don't challenge this in Supreme Court. The proof will be in its seating. If they don't challenge this order in the Supreme Court, if they implement this order, then it would show that BJP is serious about restoring the powers of the Lokayukta, transferring all the cases back to the Lokayukta, and then hopefully we will get justice, which Congress clearly tries to thwart.
Is your government going to promise the people of Karnataka that this order will not be challenged in the Supreme Court and you will actually strengthen the Lokayukta?
Navika, our Chief Minister has already said that it has been discussed and it is going to be discussed in depth as how it has to be implemented.
So, Mr. Tehseen Poonawala, then would you want to apologize to the people of Karnataka for carrying forward your corruption agenda through the ACB, being a benign and benevolent overseer?
In Karnataka, the BJP is known as the 40% Sarkar. It takes 40% commission from people. People have committed suicide. And the Breddi brothers are back in the BJP.
Why don't you answer the question?
The Congress set up the Lokpal. Mr. Modi made it toothless. The Congress tried to make CBI independent. Mr. Modi went against the Supreme Court judgment and gave the director power. The BJP
You will not answer the
corruption.
Karnataka question. You will just do whataboutery, and that is the Congress's stand on corruption, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I won't judge this one. The jury is out, and the public will judge what the Congress stands for. I leave it to the people of India, to the people of Karnataka to judge that. Thank you very much to my panelists for joining me on this debate. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching me on the News Hour. Good night. Be safe.